Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. Mr. Bame's Scoutmaster Minute went way over a minute. In fact, it went more like 5 minutes. But there's a lot of good stuff in there, especially for our new scouts and our new scout families. So as SPL, I have instructed the editors to cut it up into 5 Scoutmaster minutes and sprinkle them throughout the episode, starting now.
What's happening, Troop 75? Just wanted to take a couple of minutes for the Scoutmaster Minute this month to talk about what this month's focus is really about. Our new scouts. Our new scout camp out is May 20th through 22nd at Beaumont Scout Reservation, and if the new scouts are not yet signed up for that, they really need to be a part of that. It's a very important part of our program. But I wanted to talk about a few things that I sort of touched on starting at the Court of Honor last month about what it means to be a new scout in Troop 75. What are the expectations, and how does our troop really operate? So one of the things you're going to hear a lot about is ask your SPL. What does this mean? You're going to ask the senior patrol leader before you ask an adult something. It's usually the adults that are going to say that to you. So, what time is dinner? Ask your SPL. What are we doing next? Ask your SPL. What time are we leaving on Sunday? Ask your SPL. We want you to get in the habit of asking your peers, asking your scout troop mates for what's next, not necessarily the adults, unless the scouts can't answer it themselves.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Yeah.
I started as a scout, I think as a wolf, maybe a tiger, and then went through Cub Scouts and then all the way through Boy Scouts to Eagle. I was with Troop 12 in North Canton, Ohio, and every summer we went to 7 ranges. That was just what we did. We went the first week to summer camp to the same campsite every year. There was no talk about going anywhere else. That's just what we did. I'm a intervention specialist, special ed teacher for Cleveland. Students that have an IEP, an individual education plan, I usually work with them in the classroom to give them some extra help in reading and or math and or behavior, and then sometimes pull students out as well. Yeah, I think Scouts has definitely helped prepare me for my job as a teacher, especially in Cleveland. We have a lot of students that don't have the coping skills and the other skills that Scouts teaches, and so it's good for me to use some of that knowledge to help impart on them. The World Jamboree in 2019 was just an amazing experience. I still have friends from many countries that we still keep in contact. It was just amazing, and learning about how scouting is in different countries compared to the U.S. was a lot of fun. I was there a little over 2 weeks. My son crossed over in January of 2021, so a little less than a year and a half. So I know he's enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it too. There's a lot of other geezers, and so that's been a lot of fun for me to get to know people and go visit new places. Oil City last June in Pennsylvania was a great hike. So last year we were the #1 troop in the council. There were some packs that did better, but the #1 troop, we don't get anything for being #1, but for selling more than $8,000, we get to sell early. And there were several units that did awesome, including here in the Mentor area, that get to sell early as well. So we do get a little bit of an advantage. There'll be other units that have that advantage too. So we're gonna try to make the best of it. It's great for the council, it's great for the troop. It's great for the Scouts. It's 30% of what you sell you can use to pay for jamboree, summer camp, camp outs, stuff like that.
The next thing I want to remind you of that failure breeds success. We talked about this a little bit at the Court of Honor when I said we want the kids to fail so that they can build steps out of failure up to success. If you fail at something, it's okay. You haven't done anything wrong. We've all failed. But what you need to do is get up, dust yourself off, and try again. Don't give up. You got to get up. All right? Delegating. I want you to know that when a scout delegates something, they're not being bossy. They're simply trying to get you to learn a new skill. Delegation is learning. We want the older scouts to delegate. We want the younger scouts to skill build and learn from the delegation. It's a skill that both younger and older scout is learning.
And now these messages.
Jacob Canuck is one of the troop's more recent Eagle Scouts. He earned the honor in 2021. In his time with the troop, he earned 33 merit badges, spent 175 nights camping, hiked 140 miles on the Appalachian Trail, was elected to the Order of the Arrow, and completed at least 200 hours of community service. As a member of the Python Patrol, which later became the Trailblazers, Jake was a patrol leader, assistant patrol leader, librarian, OA representative, and assistant senior patrol leader. He says being an Eagle Scout has definitely helped outside of scouting. Shortly after arriving at college, he met and became friends with several other Eagles. He says there's even a fraternity on campus just for Eagle Scouts. The rank has also helped on his resume. He says its mere presence offers credence to his skills of leadership and aptitude to get things done. Jake said his greatest memory from his years in Troop 75 was experiencing summer camp at Summit Bechtel Reserve, trying all the camp had to offer, spending time with his troop mates, and goofing around. When it comes to wisdom from Mr. McGee, Jacob says, quote, he used to tell us not to stand around with our hands in our pockets. So, naturally, we made sure, even if we weren't doing anything, our hands were out of our pockets. But looking back, I realized there were things we could have been doing and that just a little motivation can kick you into gear. To the troop, Jake says you get out of scouting as much as you put into it. He tried to attend every meeting, every campout, and experience as much as he could, no matter how boring it may have seemed on the outside. He also says he regrets dragging his feet on advancement early on, saying there was a 2-year gap between earning Scout and earning Tenderfoot just because he didn't want to learn how to do one of the requirements. Finally, Jacob reminds Scouts not to be too rambunctious when the leaders are looking. Jacob Canuck, Troop 75, Eagle Scout.
Does anybody know what month it is? What's with the music? Oh, I get it.
It's May.
Your troop mates were new once too in the troop. So if you feel like you're alone, like they don't understand you, that's probably not true. They probably understand you way better than you think. We've all been new scouts before. We've all been new leaders before. So we're learning too. We're going to fail. We're going to make mistakes. Try to be understanding with each other. Remember the middle of the scout law: friendly, courteous, kind. Those are very important elements to keep in mind throughout your entire scouting journey. Also, we are a team of scouts and adults. We are one troop. We are all together. We have your back. So when you don't want to do something, when you think someone's being mean, or if you feel like maybe this is just not fun, not all of it's going to be 100% fun all of the time. We're trying to grow and prepare you for what life's journey has ahead. Okay, so that's what this whole program is about. But it's your program. You have to do with it what you want to and make it as fun as you want it to be. You'll get out of it what you put into it.
Oh, stewardess.
better come in until this blows over.
Now, what do you think, fella?
I keep playing. I don't think the heavy stuff's gonna come down for quite a while.
You're right.
For parents, what I need you to know is that your kids are going to be okay. I said this at the Court of Honor as well. They're not going to die on a campout. We are going to ask them to challenge themselves with either skills or tasks that maybe they don't even think that they can do. We will never put on to them anything more than they can handle, and we'll always have a plan to help them out if they need it. But we will challenge them. The other thing I want you to know is that I'm actually going to ask you is please, please, please do not helicopter over your kid. We are going to ask that you handle another scout and another adult handle your scout if the need arises at a campout. This just allows us to get to know your scout better and allows you to relax and have fun too. You guys do a really good job overseeing your kids outside of Scouts. So while they're in Scouts, let's just make it a fun event. So please, please, please do not helicopter over your Scouts. With regards to anything else that you have questions about, you can certainly reach out to me directly or any of the other assistant Scoutmasters.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
All right, the weather is getting warmer and we're into hiking season. So this month, we're talking about boots. Now personally, I love my Wolverine steel toe work boots. They're waterproof. Okay, they were waterproof at one time, but they're broken in nicely and I love them. But they're heavy. And if you're thinking about going on a long hike, maybe going on the AT, you probably don't want these on your feet. Now you can usually get away with a good pair of cheapies from Walmart. Nothing wrong with that, no shame there. But if you're looking to step up your hiking game, maybe you want the next level of boot, what do you wear? You gotta protect your feet when you're hiking. So I asked our most experienced hikers in the troop what they suggest. And here's what they said.
About 12 years ago, I switched to Merrell's, and I've worn both the lows and these are what they call mid Merrell's. These are water resistant, which I like. They're not waterproof. You can't flood the shoe.
I have always used Merrell's. I've had them for probably the 11 years I've been hiking. They've got a thing called a Vibram sole, which is a real tough rubber plastic compound at the bottom.
So I wear these, I think they're called Merrell. They're a lightweight hiking shoe. They give some stability, some cushioning in the feet.
About 10 years ago, I switched from boots to trail runners. These are Adidas Continental. I think these have a Vibram sole on them. A lot lighter on my feet, a lot cooler, and if I get them wet, they drain really well.
Well, there you have it. Looks like Merrell is the way to go. Now, Merrell's going to be a little more expensive than your Walmart brand, but they're still not horrible. Between $100 and $150 for a pair of good Merrell boots. And the best part is you don't have to go to a specialty store. You don't have to go online anywhere. You can go right to Dick's Sporting Goods, try them on in the store, see what fits for you, and you can buy them right there.
Two more things. One is, I want to remind the new scouts how you get things signed off. In Cub Scouts, an adult leader signed it off. That is not the case in our troop. You have to go to a first class or higher scout, and they will sign off on that requirement once you demonstrate that you have truly, in fact, learned it. If they feel like you have not learned it, they'll ask you to come back to them, and they'll sign it off again for you down the road. The other thing is, when you have camp out permission slips and payments to turn in, we would like you to do it 1, 2 weeks ahead of time, and 2, the scout should be turning that in, not the parent. Really, we're asking the children to become more, or the scouts, to become more independent of their parents in regards to how we operate. So when all else fails, let the scout ask, and then if they ask an adult, they're going to be told, ask the SPL, and then when that happens, you now know what it means. All right, have a great month, and we'll see you next month.